Hey, what's going on with you guys, man? I'm like a day late getting to this video. I was kind of caught up in some things yesterday, and then football. So, let's get to it now. I definitely want to talk about this Shawn Porter, Terence Crawford. I'm not really gonna go round by round per se, but we're gonna break down this fight, get to a few things that transpired after the fight, potential opponent after this fight. We're gonna get on Shawn Porter's retirement. We're gonna talk about Kenny Porter throwing in that towel. Uh, is Errol Spence ducking? I don't know if I'm gonna talk about that in this video. I might save it for another video. Just split the content up because this video definitely has potential to be like a 20-minute video. Kind of want to keep it short and whatnot. But let's get into let's get into our recap of the fight, right? So of course this was a good fight coming in. We all know Terence Crawford needed that he needed that solid resume for people to give him. Well, I said solid resume. He needed that solid welterweight that I say Shawn Porter is a minus to B plus. He's like in between there as an opponent. He's a natural welterweight. So we're looking for a guy that's a Bringe Hall of Famer or whatnot at welterweight to give Terence Crawford that solid resume that he's needed to solidify himself, right? As as that top guy at 147. He's already been on a pound for pound list for a long time, so didn't really have much to prove there. But we want to get on the fight, man. Round one. I'm like I said, I'm not gonna break down every single round, but round one was is pretty much how almost all the Terence Crawford fights go, right? It's more of a filling out process. He's trying to gauge your timing. He's trying to see what he can do. He usually comes out and fights in the orthodox stance, and then probably by round 3, 4, maybe he'll switch it up, go southpaw. Especially if he feels like you're landing a jab too much, he'll switch to southpaw. What Shawn Porter's having a little bit success doing, throwing a little bit of he landed a few combinations in the first couple of rounds or so. Um, but yeah, the jab. Shawn Porter had the jab working for him, and he kind of honestly, I didn't give Shawn. Did I give Shawn Porter all three first rounds? I know I had the rounds 5-4, right? So I know I had Terence Crawford winning five. Terence Crawford winning 5 rounds. This is before the knockout. So through 9 rounds, I had Terence Crawford winning 5 rounds. I had Shawn Porter winning four. I think I might have gave Shawn Porter the first three, or I might have had it 2-2 going after four. But I know I definitely gave Shawn Porter the first 2 rounds. If I'm not mistaken, I gave Shawn Porter the first 2 rounds. He was pretty active with his work. He was pretty accurate with his work, which is been a big knock for him. He's a guy that's usually a big volume puncher, and that's kind of how he scores. Doesn't necessarily land the cleanest of shots all the time, but he is gonna land. He is gonna land a bunch, and it's gonna look appealing to most judges, right? He's a guy that's gonna make you work, right? He's gonna make you work. He's gonna make you work almost all the time. The only fight I could say that I felt like he showed a little bit too much respect to was the Yordenis Ugas fight, right? I felt like he might not have gotten up for that fight, but I thought he lost to Yordenis Ugas, by the way. Um that's probably one of the few fights where I felt like Shawn, why is he just trying to outbox this guy the whole fight, right? Get a little not dirty, but get a little mean, get on the inside, right? Push him back, try to impose your will on him. Um but in this fight, Shawn Porter attempted to do that a few times, and it was met with resistance after the first 2 rounds. Of course, he still won 4 rounds, so he had some success in spots. I felt like times that he was having success, it was more so Terence Crawford kind of like let him into the fight, right? So after those first 2 or 3 rounds, he only maybe got one more after that, and I thought it was mainly due to Terence Crawford's lack of activity. Shawn Porter was winning some of those rounds just based off of activity alone. Not necessarily because he was landing some crazy devastating shots that was just wobbling Terence Crawford, or just landing 25 punches in a round on him or anything like that. It was more so Terence Crawford wasn't landing much, and Shawn Porter wasn't landing as much or landing as clean, but he probably outlanded him a little bit more, and he did a little bit more work, right? Um, but I say maybe I think Did Terrence? I think Terrence Crawford might have won Southpaw. I think he might have won Southpaw either. I think it might. I think he might have won Southpaw third round, and that's probably when he started giving Shawn Porter a little bit of resistance. That jab, cause like I said, Shawn Porter was landing a jab a little bit, right? And I think Terrence Crawford didn't like that. Just like if you look at his last fight versus Kell Brook, Kell Brook was having a lot of success landing that jab. Then Terrence Crawford wanted to make them have to cut down the distance. He has long arms, bro. This is the big problem with Shawn Porter and why I knew he wasn't gonna win this fight. Terrence Crawford is he's a great counterpuncher, right? He has long arms. He might not be a tall he might not be a tall fighter. I think he's only like 5'8", 5'9", but he has real long arms. I think it's like 74-inch arm reach, which is crazy for a guy of his size and stature. I seen a picture recently, not even a picture, a video of Josh Taylor visiting Terrence Crawford in a gym, maybe like a few days before the fight, and Josh Taylor's kind of hovering over Terrence Crawford. So it lets you know like this guy is not the biggest of guys. If Josh Taylor is fighting at 140, and then and he's making weight, and it seems like he makes it comfortable. So for a guy like that, it lets you know, man, like Terrence Crawford is skillful, but he also has something that you can't really, that's God given, right? Your natural arm reach, 74-inch arm reach, while Shawn Porter's a guy, he's like 5'6", and he probably has, I don't even know, let me go look it up real quick. I think Shawn Porter arms might damn near be like 67 or some shit like that. Shawn Porter box rec. We're gonna go to Shawn Porter box rec, take a look at what his arms are. And for a guy of like I said, for a guy of Terrence Crawford's skill set, Shawn Porter has 69.5-inch arm reach. Terrence Crawford has a 74-inch arm reach. Bruh, that's crazy for Terrence Crawford, who's 5'8". Shawn Porter is 5'7", so it's only like only an inch in height difference, but it's a freaking five. It's basically a 5-inch arm advantage. So credit to Terrence Crawford. He did what he had to do. Like I said, he was boxing beautifully. I think the last three rounds. So I think rounds 10, 9, and I think maybe 8. I was just like, man, Shawn Porter's success is just like, I don't see how he wins this fight if he has to literally he has to take so many risks right now. Like he really had to take a lot of risks to get on the inside. But Terrence Crawford, like his footwork, his counter punching ability, his ability to keep him at distance. Like I said, what I told you guys in the prediction video, that check right hook, that's what's gonna be Shawn Porter's downfall throughout the fight, and it showed true, right? Um, he landed that plenty of times, and even when he didn't land it, he used it more of he used it more in a way to where he can get, when Shawn Porter lunges, he can throw it. Even he could throw it and pivot out the way, right? So just beautiful boxing from him there. And then of course there was a few times where he caught him cleanly with it, right? And you could tell Shawn Porter kind of respected his power because yeah, he would lunge in, but he wouldn't just do it. Like honestly, most fights, a fight like that where you know you're not gonna you don't have all the skill, you don't have the skill set per se, the arm reach advantage. Those are fights where you have to take the chance to get on the inside, and that's the main way for you to win. Shawn Porter seemed hesitant to really take those chances, right? So it let me know he kind of respected Crawford's power. There was a few times where they both were exchanging, and I think Shawn Porter definitely felt his power. It's like, you know what, I understand. I'm like he is hit me with some shit, but I'm gonna have to take a chance, right? Um, and unfortunately, that was his downfall. Now, this is what I want to get into, right? Because I already talked about how I had Crawford up 5-4, going into the 10th round before he landed the knockdowns and whatnot, and luckily for him, got the stoppage, right? I want to talk about this, and this shit really got me mad, man. Ken Porter, bro, Kenny Porter. Oh man, what were you doing, bro? Oh my god, that might have been the worst fucking stoppage I've ever seen in my life, bro. The worst fucking stoppage I've ever seen in my life. And that really lets me know, like, bro, I don't know if you're a fighter, I don't know if you would want to have your dad as your trainer, man, because that seemed like a super emotional response to Shawn Porter losing the fight, and it's like I'm just gonna stop it right now so he doesn't lose worse than what it is right now. But in the reality of the situation, I didn't feel like Shawn Porter was hurt enough and to a point where you will have to stop the fight. There was no reason to stop the fight. I understand he most likely wasn't gonna win. The only way he probably was gonna win that fight was for him to land a few knockdowns of his own, or for him to get a knockout victory as well. So, um, but it's just the point that it's a championship fight. This is most likely these guys probably kept it a secret, but he probably knew it was Shawn Porter's last fight, since Shawn Porter had said in his in his press conference that he was retiring. Win, lose or draw, he already said he had committed to retiring. Um, but it's like, bro, that's a terrible stoppage. Now I do want to give Porter, I said Porter. I do want to give Terence Crawford respect in the sense that, yeah, you put his dad in a situation that would make him want to do it. But man, I'm not respecting that as a stoppage, man. I gotta see you hurt somebody before I call it a stoppage. And in Pacquiao versus Marquez, I think it was the first one. He dropped him like 3 times in the first round, if I'm not mistaken, and he kept fighting. They didn't throw in the towel. Like, I want to see how many times it was. I think it was the first round. We're gonna look right quick. Hold on. We doing the history search. I'm doing all this off the top of the dome piece, right? Let's see. I'm gonna find this fight. Hold on. Why can't I find it right now? Damn, where the fuck is the first one? I cannot find it right now. But either way he not it either way there was multiple knockdowns. It's a championship fight. That's not a fight you stop. That's not a fight you should even consider stopping or anything like that. So just all around, I think the consensus, probably like 90% of people felt like that was just a terrible. Oh yeah, here you go. I found it. It was the first fight. Uh, May 8th, 2004. Marquez was down 3 times in the first round. It was able to fight his way into a draw. So I don't see Marquez. I don't see Marquez trainers wanting to throw in the towel and the fight, man. It was a championship fight, unification fight at that. It was like, and in the case of Shawn Porter, it was a championship fight. This is gonna be his last fight. You let him go out like a warrior. If you're worried about somebody getting hurt before they get hurt, why do you box anyway, right? What's the point of becoming a boxer if you're worried about somebody getting hurt before they even get hurt? That's the point. That's the name of the game, man. You gonna hurt somebody, has to be hurt. Well, not necessarily nobody, not you know what I'm trying to say. Not necessarily will somebody be drastically hurt at least, but you're literally in the ring to hurt this to most likely hurt this opponent, right? You're not just there to little pop shots, little jabby jabs all the time. Little pop shots don't really put no power on any of your punches like that because you're trying to protect the other fighter. You're in there to win, and you do whatever it takes to win. And I just felt like Kenny Porter robbed Shawn Porter, right? I just felt like he robbed Shawn Porter of a shining moment in a sense, right? Like if I'm gonna lose, let me go out on my, especially my last fight. This is my last fight for a championship belt. Let me go out like a fucking warrior, man. Uh, I know Deontay Wilder, man. If that was Deontay Wilder, the way he talked about Mark Breland, he might have never talked. He might have never talked to his own dad. If Tyson Fury got 2 flash knockdowns against Deontay Wilder and and his own dad threw in the towel, I don't even think he'd talk to his dad ever again. So it was just, that lets you know how bad of a stoppage it was. And like I said, if you guys go back and look at the last knockdown that made Kenny Porter throw in the towel, Shawn Porter didn't even get hit with anything clean. That was more the first one. He ran into that uppercut a little bit. That was I still felt like that was a flash knockdown, but he still had his wits about him. The second time he banged the floor. My man's was punching the floor super hard as hell. He was punching the floor hard as hell. That lets you know if he had enough energy to punch the floor hard as hell, that lets you know he had the strength. He wasn't on shaky legs. He wasn't punched. He wasn't drunk in the ring or anything like that. He had his wits, bro. And he even said it after the fight. I'm super surprised. We never even had a conversation about him ever throwing in the towel or anything. It was kind of like an unspoken thing. But I'm genuinely surprised. Like he thought he could keep going. Um, and then and then after the fight, I seen an interview where Kenny Porter pretty much doubled down on. He said like he there was no thinking to it. It's like, yo, I made that decision and I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with it. Like I literally have I have no regrets with that decision to take Shawn to end the fight, right? Now, this is a lot of people are a little skeptical of it, right? That people like it was so bad of a stoppage. People are thinking like Kenny Porter had money on the fucking fight. Like, remember the total of rounds were at 10.5. So, and I think it was plus money. It was plus money on the under 10.5 rounds, and it was plus money on Terence Crawford to get the KO, right? And then you stop a fight in which the fighter's not even hurt. Yes, he got knocked down 2 times, but you made it to the 10th round. Let me fight it out, right? Let me go out with some. Let me like end my. Oh my god, my mustache getting my mouth shit. Gotta cut this shit again. But let me go out on my shield at the very least, or let me at least show you that I got something left, right? I can empty the tank right now, and if I empty the tank, and he really stuns me, and he really has me drunk and super buzzed, you can end the fight, but don't end it like that, bro. That shit was terrible, and I'm gonna keep emphasizing it was terrible. You guys, we had Errol Spence at the fight as well, right? That's the fight that as boxing fans we're all looking and praying happens next, right? That's the fight that needs to happen now. I'm a big Errol Spence fan. I definitely think that fight needs to happen next. Um, I think Errol Spence he's been cleared. His eyes been cleared. He's probably gonna be back to training anytime soon. He's probably already training, probably not sparring though, but he'll probably be back sparring probably within the next month or two. If I had to guess, if he just got cleared within the last month or so. So um man, that's the fight we definitely needs to happen. But this is what I want to get at, man. Errol Spence, he tweeted out. Let me go to his Twitter. I want to get both tweets that he said. I want to quote him verbatim. Um, he said, man. I don't even know what emoji that is. I forgot what emoji. I guess that's kind of like a think. Oh, face rolling the eyes emoji. He got rolling eyes emoji. Put man, rolling eye emoji. Laugh out loud. That was after the fight was over. And he said his next tweet after that, if I was Shawn, I wouldn't pay my daddy, bro. And that lets you know if you guys watched the fight, as soon as the fight ended, man, you could see they panned to Errol Spence. You could see he literally got up, shaking his head like he was disappointed. And there was some footage of him walking out, being interviewed and whatnot. He basically reiterated that, right, saying, man, that was a weak stoppage. He felt like, bruh, you gotta let him go out there and fight, man. You can't throw in the towel on some weak shit like that, bruh. I think as us diehard boxing fans really feel, bruh, that's the worst way to go out. I mean, honestly, I've seen worse. Like, we've seen Duran literally give up in a fight because he couldn't catch Sugar Ray Leonard. Couldn't catch up with him. Sugar Ray Leonard was outboxing him. He literally just gave up. Like, he was just frustrated that he couldn't do anything with Sugar Ray Leonard, right? And that's a Hall of Fame fighter. And that's probably the only other situation I could think of right now in a big championship fight where it's a disappointing finish, right? Like, you gotta at least go out there. You gotta at least go out there and finish the fight. You gotta give your son the ability to go out there and finish the fight at the very least. Let him go out his last fight. Let him have his last hoorah. And that's like a legacy defining thing, right? When you go down memory lane with Shawn Porter and you think about his career and all the great fights he had, all you're gonna think about is that last fight he had with Terence Crawford and his dad threw in a towel, bro. He made him go out. He made him look like a bitch in his last fight, right? He made him look soft. I don't want to say bitch. That's a little too harsh. I want to say he made Shawn Porter look soft, bro. And after the fight, he threw him under the bus. He said, I didn't like the reason why I threw the towel in. I didn't like Shawn's preparation for the fight, and I didn't like how he was looking, pretty much, right? He didn't like how he was looking. He said he didn't prepare how he wanted him to prepare. But look how this was separates it, right? Just it's just like I feel like that was so uncalled for Kenny Porter, and Shawn Porter actually covered for Kenny Porter, because you could tell visibly, you can tell Shawn Porter was disappointed in that and Kenny Porter throwing in the towel, but he didn't completely throw him. He didn't throw him under the bus like Kenny did him, right? He was basically saying, I trust my dad to make the right decision. I didn't think he would stop it there, but I still understand. I still can understand why he would do it in that type of a situation, right? And then Kenny Porter right after. I didn't like the way he prepared. I didn't think he did what I was telling him to do. I didn't like the things he was doing in training camp. I didn't like blah blah. I didn't like the preparation, all this bullshit, right? And just total bullshit from Kenny Porter, man. I feel like he might be covering for something, bro. Cause I don't know, man. I really don't know. Maybe there was like, maybe they had some secret conversation where Shawn Porter told Kenny like, yo, when I if I punch if Terence Crawford punches, like drops me and I punch the floor, that's the code. That's the code for you to end the fight, and you'll be able to take the blame, and I can go out, with all my, I can go out, and people will shit on you, and they'll have a little bit more respect for me, right? Maybe that could have been a situation. I highly doubt it, but who knows? But with that being said, good fight, good fight up until the stoppage. Terence Crawford definitely earned my respect. Like I said, we got to see the Errol Spence fight next, and I'm most likely gonna do another video on if I think Errol Spence is ducking Terence Crawford or not. And we're gonna get into a little bit of the politics of boxing, right? On that situation. But with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Hit the bell and notification so you're notified when I drop my next video. That being said, I'm out, man. Peace.